what's going on, Dub Chasers? Today we are, shocker, back in Vincent's garage working on his red Mk7, and we are getting the car ready for ethanol. So today we are installing a high pressure fuel gauge. Today we are installing a high pressure fuel pump on Vincent's Mk7 as well as an ethanol gauge, so that way he can safely run E30 and possibly E50. Now we can't run full E85 yet because a lot of tuners recommend that when you get a high pressure fuel pump, you should also get a lower pressure fuel pump, low pressure fuel pump, right? Yep. I'm struggling a little bit today. But yeah, so not E85 quite yet, but definitely E30 and possibly E50. So we're gonna show you how to do it. Hello, Vince.
Hello.
All right, so what have you done so far?
Intake off. From the low pressure line, you get from out here, this guy. Here's where you're gonna install your ethanol gauge, and then follow it up, disconnect this guy, disconnect the electrical connector, and then now we are going to crack loose the high pressure part, which is should be a 17mm wrench.
So we had a little accident because I opened the car door and so the fuel pump got primed. So just a little tip, maybe disconnect the battery.
Yeah.
Would be a good idea. So you don't get a little squirt of fuel everywhere. So this actual thing, is that the high pressure fuel pump, that whole?
Yes, you will see once I open it.
Sweet. There we go.
There she goes.
Nice. She is. So the part that you're replacing is just the internal piece. So the whole
Stuff that's inside that little spring.
Okay. So in here.
And lower here. Do a little checky for cam follower.
Make sure there's no scoring or anything.
Yeah, there's a little bit of scoring, but nothing too serious. Nothing that I'm concerned about.
Okay.
Where to put that flashlight?
So now, are you gonna tap for the gauge, or are you gonna replace?
Yeah, I want to get that gauge out of the way because these clamps. So against the high pressure fuel line, you get this actual nice lip that you're able to grab on with a clamp. With these though, there's none. The lip isn't there, so it's gonna take a minute.
Gotcha. Okay, so we got the two clamps off. Pretty challenging since there's not really a great spot to clamp onto. But now we have one of the ends into the sensor, and Vince is going to squeeze the other half on now. Do a little twisty action. And there we go. So now we got fuel lines on both ends. Gotta get the clamps.
Yep, just gotta get the clamp over. Oh, come on, you. No! Holy shit. Yeah, we'll say that's good.
Yeah. Nice. Fuel lines installed on either side of the sensor. So now where does the sensor mount to, or do you just kind of tuck it?
Just kind of gets tucked.
Okay.
See, I'll probably do something like this.
So it goes in.
Yeah, maybe like back here. Probably like that.
Yeah. It's perfect. It's like it was made for it.
Uh-huh.
All right, we have our makeshift operating table. The vise drilled onto this little foldable table.
Yup.
So now explain the process for what exactly you have to do.
You pretty much use a bearing puller, and from what I've seen in all like the DIYs and stuff, this top hat that holds in what would be like if you're like valve keepers, you pretty much just break that off of the stock one, and then you just kind of go from there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You have to break it?
Pretty much. At least from what I've seen, like everybody just breaks it. Like they don't even try to save it or anything. Because either way, it gets replaced.
Okay.
Nope. So I'm pretty sure I just felt it break already.
Like a little crack was?
Yep. Not sure though. Oh, it was over there. I was like, who the heck I hear walking? Ow!
Oh, jeez.
Actually, I think I just pushed it out some. Not all the way though. Yeah, so if you can see, the centerpiece and this first little lip are usually flush with each other.
Oh.
So I pushed it up, but I didn't crack it or break it. What the heck? Can you just brake already?
Alright, old reliable ratchet. Broke it right off.
Yep. Just needs a little bit extra force on it.
Yep. So spring is no more, so now it's that thing in particular you're updating?
Yes.
Or you still gotta disassemble it more?
Actually, yes, disassemble it more. So right now we're here, but we need this part to come out. Which is when we grab the stupid thing.
To basically yank it out?
Not to yank it out, actually to unscrew it.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I remember that guy.
So he'll sit down in here.
Yep.
And you will break the whole unit loose. And you need a 1 1/16. Wonder if I could just do no. So, to loosen this guy, because you're coming to separate these two pieces. I don't know if you can see that spinning.
Yep.
Tool is going to go in. You're going to take your 1 1/16 on top. It goes in really, really far, and that kind of concerns me for in the event that it like comes back up. So I throw in a little 13 millimeter, shove that guy in there so it actually fits like nicely. And you're going to, I saw in some videos they said turn right to loosen it, even though that's tightened. Sent a quick email out to Autotech and they're like, nope, you loosen it like you regularly loosen a bolt. So just make sure you guys loosen it like you loosen a bolt, not anything opposite. But we'll get this guy out.
Wonderful.
Ooh. That's okay. Oh, a little bit of fuel. Get her out properly so I can remember how this thing goes in. Nice. Awesome.
So now, you grabbing the new part?
Yes.
Sponsored by Autotech. Just
I
kidding.
wish.
We're not.
That'd be so cool.
Autotech, if you see this.
Give us $10 off.
As you can see from our first sponsorship, we spray painted a company's logo on a air tank. So we can take it up a notch. We'll get tattoos.
So you got your new parts here. It's gonna go in like so. So we're gonna slip this guy out, push Oh, I gotta get that off. Alright, hold on, we'll be back.
Alright, so we're in the process of finishing up putting the new internals in, and we have a little tool time with Vincent about something that may come in handy we're using right now. Vince, you want to explain?
A valve spring compressor will probably be helpful. Also, a vise is extremely helpful. And a bearing puller / separator is extremely helpful.
So yeah, the bearing puller is what we showed when we were breaking the old hardware device we're using now, and then this valve spring compressor is what I was pointing out. So it looks like you need to compress the spring and put something on top.
Yeah, so if anyone's familiar with regular valves on how those work, you have little valve keepers on the very top, and they pretty much just hold the top hat of the valve to the spring. So like there, oh no, I had one. Oh, here we go. I got one.
Oh,
So they sit on this little ridge, and as you get the second one in, or not, you will start to uncompress the spring, and then they'll get locked in place, and bada bing, bada boom, you're done.
Gotcha.
I wonder if I could just do it by my hands.
So they're two little half circles,
Correct.
and it basically keeps the...
It keeps the top hat on, so that way then the spring doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
And then, yep, as you start to loosen, they'll pretty much just have to get seated in place. And boom.
There we go. Right in there.
Boy.
Nice.
Okay. Ta-da! Now you have your new thingy-mabobber.
So at the end of the day, what did you just do? Like, does that allow more fuel to come through? Does that allow...
What is it? It's like... So the plunger... This guy plus this guy... So they ride on the camshaft, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's in there, so it's like... So it's like this. As the camshaft is going, it pushes this in, releases it. It's like its own... It's like it has its own separate lobe, as if it were to be opening a valve. So this is pretty much like an intake valve, but upside down. And instead of letting in air, it lets in fuel.
Right.
And then so it just keeps pumping up and down, up and down, up and down. And then as this is going up and down, this lip pushes fuel.
Okay.
And so then it comes through your low pressure from here, and it gets pumped, shoots out your high pressure.
So then did the new lobe just basically make it able to withstand?
It pumps more.
Pumps more. Okay.
So it pumps more, but it like it's on the label. Like before you actually get to open that box, you have to crack a label from Autotech, and it's just saying like, hey, you're pushing up to 50% more fuel than what you're used to. Your camshaft is going to be experiencing 50% more pressure against it. Or up to 50% more pressure against it. So you have to know, instead of now checking your cam follower here and there, you're checking your cam follower a lot more often.
Gotcha. Okay.
A lot more preventative maintenance. Yeah.
Right.
So now we want to get this John back in. Yeah, it takes some force to get this guy going.
You're reattaching the bottom part?
Yeah.
The hard line?
This is kind of where you do like 3 things at once. You attach pretty much all the things at once, just slightly here and there.
Okay. So you got the bottom hard line, and then you got the soft line coming out the little nipple, and then the...
In this case, you're looking at the hard line, and then the 2 mounting holes.
Oh, okay.
So I usually get like a pry bar back in here. Just kind of pry it just a little bit up to help get the nut started. Yep, that's going on smoothly.
Nice. Yep, it just tilted a little bit, like it went into place.
So get this guy going just a little bit until it starts to become snug. And then now we'll switch over to putting the bolts in. Get this guy started, get him started, and now we'll go up and pry it again. Oh, I'm actually gonna get the drill.
Okay. So yeah, now just the mounting bolts. Okie dokie. We
All right.
have mounting bolts in place.
Yep.
Lines connected.
Yep. Electrical connector connected. Put these back in decently. Let's see if we can get this guy connected again. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's not bad.
No, it's not.
So now we work on
Oh, you tossed it. Oh. So now we got to run the wire from the connector. I'm guessing through the same hole in the firewall.
correct.
And then into doop. We go into the car. We'll be down in here. So do you have to like drill or mount, or do you have like a little mount?
Yeah, you'll see.
Okay.
I may have overspent on how it gets mounted.
Oh god. I was gonna say, did you print it?
Not me.
Someone did.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the wires running from the sensor through the hole in the firewall into the cabin, which Vince is now plugging in.
Yeah, so it gets plugged into a little box, and then from there, you don't use a majority of these wires, so all we're going to need is these 2 wires, but then we get this guy. Oh, that rubber band broke instantly.
The gauge.
The gauge.
The gauze.
The gauze. He will end up sitting like that.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
It is very nice.
So you just got to drill a little hole through the back here.
Okay.
Which is what we will do now. And by little, I mean big, because I don't want to deal with it. Break it out the 1/2 inch.
Oh my god. It was easy.
Boom. Okay, so then we got this guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I'll sit like this.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So then how do you fasten it?
3M tape
Oh.
that they give you. I'll just get in there real quick and just clean it. Clean up any little debris.
Do a little rubbing alcohol.
Not exactly.
You can use brake parts cleaner.
It's about the same. Except rubbing alcohol isn't chlorinated. I think that'll have no problem adhering to the surface.
Yeah.
Get the little 3M tape off. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Alright, so we got the little module tucked in away nicely in there. And we got the gauge. I'm gonna pull it down.
Chilling right here.
There we go. Yep. Looks very nice. So what all did you have to do? I think the last time we checked in, we had just gotten the gauge put in.
So from that point, you got the wire that comes from the gauge, drilled the hole through the back here, shove all that through so it comes around here. That we actually brought to up here, zip tied it around because we don't need all that. That gets plugged into the gauge label here on the whatever this unit is. From the sensor all the way up, we brought it through the firewall, dragged it up and around. I don't even know where this. It's like there's a massive gap right here, but it's really difficult to get your hand in. We shoved that all the way through. Then we brought it to the other side of this right here. And then we brought the only two wires that you need actually are the ground and the switched power. So tap that. Ground we just brought up there. That's it.
And what fuse did you?
I went with a 15. It's probably like a 10 or something, but as long as I mean, it's brand new, so it shouldn't have any issues.
Mm-hmm.
So if it does pop, then I know there's something wrong.
Okay.
Cool.
So now just cable management?
Cable management, yeah. Got a lot to do here.
And just like that, all of the wires are cleaned up nice. So all kind of bundled in there a little bit, as well as underneath the dash. Vince also, while he was doing that, remounted his access port with this little arm that he bought. It looks
the company
cool.
Okay, so the company that I bought the arm for the access port and the gauge pod, and they make like an absolute monstrous amount of other gauge pods. It's called like CJM Industries. We'll put their Instagram in the bio.
Sure.
In the description, whatever.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and do that. But let's just take a little look-see. So, and my lens isn't wide enough, but you got access port here. Got the airlift management right there, if you'll focus. And then pop this down. There's your ethanol gauge. And I think, no, okay. So yeah, and then all the wires cleaned up, nice and tidy. So now I believe we are on to reassembly.
Yes, sir.
Battery tray back in.
Yeah, battery tray back in, battery holder bracket in. Intake?
Right there.
No, I'm making sure that's the last.
I think so.
That's hooked up. That's hooked up. Kind of, I think, I hope. Yeah, so then intake, and then you're good.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so just turned on the car to check and make sure. It's just warming up now. Make sure there's no leaks, which there aren't. Just basically wanted to watch the fuel lines that we were messing with and kind of, rub around the edges, make sure there's no micro leaks. But then, the cool part, come into here, drop this down, and there's the gauge. It's at E28, so 28% ethanol, almost at E30.
Yeah, so I filled it up beforehand, so I kind of eyeballed it.
Hey, you're pretty close. E28, not bad.
Cool.
So we want to go put 50% in.
What? No, the tune isn't made for that.
Did you not get a specifying E30 tune from Stratified?
No, I got it.
Oh, you're on EQT though.
Yeah.
Okay. Which, speaking of which, so for the Mark 7.
I was gonna say, should we go for a drive and talk about it then?
Sure. All right, we'll go for the drive and we'll talk about it then.
Oh, very, very subtle.
Very subtle. Oh my god.
That's so subtle.
Jesus. I don't know if the kit. Jesus. All right.
Oh, so like 3.5, it doesn't pop really.
Okay. So we're on a drive right now, so the reason why we got this is Vincent got a E30 tune from EQT, right?
Yes, EQT.
EQT. Is it EQT Tuning?
I think so.
So we're testing that out right now. Definitely a pretty good amount more power, especially running E30. But what I was getting to earlier in the garage is an idea that Vincent had for video is, so now for the Mark 7, we have a Cobb off-the-shelf tune, we have a stratified tune, we have a sneaky tune, and now we have an EQT tune.
I may not know what to do with money.
So, Vincent doesn't know how to budget. So we're thinking about making a video kind of comparing the experience of getting these tunes and then also the performance of them. Now, it'll be a little bit tricky because, like I said, this EQT tune is...
It's a jump.
It's a jump. It's an E30 tune, so in that aspect, it might not be the best comparison.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could still like look at the process and all that, and do some mild performance comparisons. But yeah, so that's probably will be an upcoming video. But as far as the gauge pod is installed, do you want to pop it?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's completely hidden. You need to check your E30, E28 if you can see. I don't know if you can see it down there.
Close enough. But yeah, so we're just out testing out the tune, and
It's juicy.
it gets a fat thumbs
It
up
feels
for now.
really good.
And we'll go more into depth in the tune video that'll be coming up. But we're headed home now, and then we'll go ahead and give our final thoughts. Probably like right here-ish. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think so. We're done.
Yes.
Honestly, probably one of the easiest installs.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
If you
straight.
have the right tools, it's really easy.
Yeah, so you gotta have the right tools, but in terms of complexity, not that bad.
Not bad.
And in terms of how our last install video went,
Really good.
really good. We didn't brick a car. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about the install process at all.
I mean, we'll put a link in the description for all the tools that I used. As long as you have the right things, as long as you take your time with it, you actually follow along correctly in other videos, it's not bad. But if you don't do it right, then you have a big problem.
It'd probably be pretty complicated.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just a useful gauge for, you know, being able to read your ethanol content, and then a high pressure fuel pump for being able to run higher ethanol content. Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. 5 stars.
5 stars.
Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't. Tell us why in the comments below. We'll leave all of the
We'll put our business
information
email
below.
in there for Autotech if they want to reach out to us.
Please reach out to us. We love sponsors. Like I said, we put a company's name on the back of an air tank. We're creative. We'll get tattoos.
There it is.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.